The culmination of Halo 3 left our good friend Master Chief in a cryogenic stasis. He would return when it was once again time for him to defend his people. A near cataclysmic event is usually what brings the Chief out of his dormant state, but something is slightly different this time.
I need you.
A Covenant fleet is in the area scavenging the remains of his ship, and Cortana is acting quite strange. She soon reveals that her systems are starting to deteriorate and only her creator could possibly repair her issue. It's up to Master Chief to find a way to get back home, and also discover why the Covenant has begun attacking them again. Along the way, we get to see the relationship between Cortana and Chief explored, as Cortana slowly becomes less dependable due to her ailment. The Chief shows a bit of his human side in this game, and he's compelled to save the only companion he's ever really known. Meanwhile, a new villain steps into the scene with dreams of wiping out humanity. It doesn't take long for the battle of humanity to become the backdrop of a love story. Duty over saving the one you love? What will Master Chief eventually choose? I can't say that this was the most gripping narrative piece I have ever been a part of. I'm all about saving Cortana because that's our girl, but when saving her is blocked by accidentally waking up a sleeping powerhouse, that's when all bets are off. I know this is the Halo universe, and there wouldn't be a game without something that threatens humanity, but the way it develops is pretty sloppy. Over time, I really stopped paying attention to the rest of the storyline and snapped awake at the bits when Cortana had totally gone bananas.
I will not allow you to leave this planet!
The story is told through incredibly detailed in-game sequences. Master Chief is always at the heart of battle, and apparently his armor can survive even the harshest trauma. The world of Halo still looks absolutely gorgeous, and the new character models bring a new level of realism to the series. Small niceties like the gaps in Cortana's teeth or the specifics of our illustrious hero's famous armor. A new depth of beauty shows itself in the war-torn landscapes of Halo, with a vibrant new world to pay plenty attention to. Down where the bullets fly and the explosions are plentiful, the fundamentals look different but have generally stayed the same. This is a treat for those who didn't know if 343 could follow in the shoes of Bungie. A few new enemies are even thrown into the mix, with varying combat patterns that players aren't familiar with. The AI in Halo 4 remains distinct, with the most agile and often ruthless enemies in the FPS business. The new weapons don't really change things up as much as one would hope, and players still can dual wield any of the smaller guns. In fact, I found that most of the weapons generally felt representative of the other alien weapons. There were minor differences like more bullets or a faster rate of fire, but there is much less of a balance issue for finding weapons you like. Well, besides the Magnum of course, that gun is pretty much worthless. This game introduces a new vehicle as well, which is a gigantic mech that players can pilot in and out of multiplayer combat. Any person riding one of these is instantly feared by ground and air troops alike, and is quite possibly the best addition in the game. There are also a few key set pieces littered throughout the game, like riding a vehicle well deserving of the name Mammoth. Players will also escape from a crumbling world or take to the sky to fly into the enemy base. It's a good switch up from the classic running gun of single player, but not all of these epic moments are created equal. For example, there are quite a few missions that just require taking out 3 items in an area. This usually equates to fighting off waves of enemies while you destroy a generator. If that sounds too formulaic, that's because it is. Halo is Halo, but when playing cooperatively, this title has many a problem with remaining stable. I went through most of the campaign with other players, and random spurts of lag will weigh down on all of us. On occasion, it would take 2 seconds to allow the cursor to hover over an enemy, and by then, the enemy would be well out of my sights. There are also locations that don't seem to work too well in cooperative play. The on-rail sequences are all about moving as fast as possible, avoiding objects. But if you die and are teleported behind the lead character, you'll be caught in the wake of the next catastrophic event. Multiplayer in Halo 4 is exactly what you would expect of a game of this caliber. Players can create badges, customize their armor, and earn points and ranks to unlock new weapons, armor kits, and loadouts. Familiar modes like Team Slayer, Big Team Slayer, Regicide, Capture the Flag, Oddball, and Dominion are the typical modes expected of the series. The Flood mode starts players as one of the Flood or a Spartan. Each player that's killed will turn into one of the Flood until one man is left standing. Swap pits players against each other only using rifles. Players are immediately killed if felled by a headshot or struck 2 or more times. It's the most realistic mode in the game if armor generation is too much for you. Multiplayer in Halo is incredibly fast paced when compared to previous games. It takes a page straight out of the rulebook of Call of Duty. This is a welcome change to the series, since rounds go by faster and there is a sense of urgency in combat. It adds a bit of fire to the seats of players to work together and score faster. Spartan Ops is the true cooperative story mode of the game. Currently being released in phases, players assume the role of Crimson Squad and take on assignments. It isn't exactly a campaign, but players are given objectives and fight off droves of enemies while racking up points. If you're looking for a little fun with friends well after Master Chief's story is over, Spartan Ops is where the fun is at. Halo 4 is not without its issues, but 343 cannot be denied that this is a Halo title. They've done an excellent job at replicating and adding something new to the franchise. However, if you're like me and aren't a big time player of the Halo games, this one probably won't offer enough changes to affect that decision at all. For those that do love the Halo series, this is truly the next step into the beginning of a new trilogy. You will probably find it difficult to tell if that Bungie even left for that other company. Half-Ass Gaming gives Halo 4 a B. Master Chief is no longer locked in stasis, but he's still taking some time to warm up.